Hey, what's up, you guys? This is WD3, and this is your Hill Report Newsbreak. Um, to a lot of you guys, you're getting off of the July 4th weekend. A lot of you guys are not working today. Shout out to you guys for getting your rest, but there is a lot of news this July 4th weekend. Let's definitely get into it. Um, Shout out to my co host, Hilda. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
All right. Well, World War III intensifies. Oh, man. Well, a lot of people's worst nightmares coming true. A lot of people have, if you never heard of the Albert Pike letter to Mazzini, definitely read that. That's something to consider. Definitely something to make your eyebrows go up. But in the meantime, on the ground, there's been a lot of tension in the Middle East. And right now, World War III is intensifying. A lot of people believe that it started back in 2014 when the Ukraine overthrew their government and NATO came in. That's when a lot of people see that this whole world conflict started. But over the weekend, a lot happened. As you guys know, October 7th, that was when Hamas attacked Israel. But since then, not only has Israel been attacked by Iran, but they've also been attacked from the north by Hezbollah in the southern Lebanon region. And a lot of this is stemming from a lot of the support that Iran gives for liberation, which a lot of people agree with because of the Palestinian situation. But regardless, senior commander of Hezbollah, Nasser, killed in Israeli airstrike. That happened couple days ago. Uh, Definitely a big blow to Hezbollah, the Iranian backed militia in southern Lebanon. Senior commanders, let's put that in American terms. If we had one of our senior commanders killed, how big of a deal would that be?
A huge deal. I mean,
Colin Powell or any of these guys, if they had gotten killed, it would have been a really big deal. So, definitely Hezbollah last night, yesterday on July 4th, they retaliated. Hezbollah launched massive attack on Israel. So if you're over there in that little country of Israel over there in the Middle East right now, there is no rest. I'll tell you right now. You're fighting a three-front war. Not only are they fighting Iran, but they're also fighting. They also have fighting in Yemen, back and forth. Um, Definitely a lot of people are not wanting to see the peace deal between Saudi Arabia and Israel. Um, so a lot going on in the Middle East, and a lot of people feel that World War III is just intensifying, and we would hate to see this thing go nuclear at some point, right?
yeah, sounds like chaos.
Right. Um, Also, speaking of chaos, whoa, let's get into the home stretch of the presidential campaign here in the U.S. As you mentioned earlier, Britain just elected a new prime minister.
Yep.
Shout out to that guy. Um, the last guy didn't last too long. The guy before that didn't last too long. So a lot of people are really feeling the crunch from what's going on around the world. And a lot of populist candidates are making their way to the forefront because honestly, a lot of people are disaffected by politics as usual. They want to see something more geared towards the people. And maybe over in England, they're really just cycling through some people that they feel comfortable with. As you know, they have a monarchy still over there. Um, but over here, a lot of people are feeling like, you know, why not Kamala? As people are calling for Joe Biden to be replaced, some are, some aren't. Why not Kamala Harris? For one, she did help him win the election, right?
Yeah, Kamala Harris did. Yeah.
She also, whether you believe it was fair or not, I'm not the judge of that, but they're in the White House. She's the VP. She wasn't a losing proposition for the ticket. So she's on. Also, she was the first black female and or female vice president, right? So
Yep.
she is definitely a history maker. It seems like it would be pretty obvious that if Joe Biden steps down, just like Gerald Ford ascended to the presidency when who's that stepped down before Ford? Was it Nixon? Nixon
Yeah,
stepped down and then Ford stepped in, right?
right.
But Spyro Agnew was the vice president at that time, and Ford was in Congress when he became president. So maybe something similar to that is going on. But most would say, why not Kamala? Would Dems look bad overlooking the first black female VP? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a mess no matter what happens because, Biden is just a mess himself.
Well, a lot of people are noting that not only Biden but Kamala Harris, either one, they would have to release their delegates in order for things to run smoothly as far as them getting their delegate votes. Definitely a lot of campaign things that need to be unraveled because the rules state that the only person who can get Joe Biden's campaign money is Kamala Harris, right? And they've raised a
Correct.
lot of money. So many people are floating around different theories. I even saw a report this morning where uh, one of the news guys from MSNBC or CNBC was like, "Oh, just give Joe 2 more weeks. He deserves it." It's like that is so pointless. Um, Most definitely. Um,
Right.
who that raises the question: who would give the Democrats the best chance to win? Who comes to your mind? Your a name that comes to your mind right off the top,
Well, the VP, I mean, she's the only one.
right? Um, Definitely, I think that a lot of the snap judgments that the Democrats have right now, I think they ought to rethink it because Kamala Harris is a historic figure. A lot of people were disaffected by her political career here in California because some say that she was really unfair to a lot of moms when their children didn't go to school and the moms were arrested. But in a lot of cases, as you know, parenting is pretty tough. So it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, and they felt like she was targeting minorities. Whether you believe that or not, whether the record reflects that or not, that's up to you to research. But that is some of the sentiment that was out there concerning uh, Kamala Harris. They also have a problem with a lot of people don't think that she is the best communicator. They don't think she's able to really relay her messages and relay the message of the party and of the country um, well enough to really, really make an impact as America usually does. Well, what do you
No,
think?
nobody's perfect. No, as we've seen is with Biden, nobody is perfect.
Right.
So, no matter who you choose, nobody's going to measure up.
Well, and I think one of the most endearing points about Donald Trump and that makes a lot of his followers and supporters like him is the fact that he's not refined, the fact that he is off the cuff, and maybe that could be sort of a formula in modern politics is to just not be sounding like a Washington politician, right? So, last question. Is Jill Biden a villain for not protecting Joe Biden in light of his kind of being brought into the light some of his issues, which as a senior man who served our country, who's basically been a decent gentleman, I guess. I don't know him, but do you think Jill should have protected him and not let him really show that because that's going to be talked about for a long time in
No,
politics.
she does not need to protect him.
What about the
She is
speech?
not his mommy.
What about the speech? Well, a lot of people say she thinks she's his mommy because she said, "Hey, Joe, you answered all the questions, Joe. You everything they said." So that really sounded bad. Honestly, that didn't sound like a husband and wife exchange. That did sort of sound like mommy. But anyway, before we get out of here, record high temps mark the 4th of July weekend, right? Lots of fires. You guys be careful. Insurance companies are really, really hard on California, especially home insurance. So definitely don't want to burn down your house with these fireworks. You guys have been tuned in to the Hill Report News Break with my co host Hilda. This is WD3, and we're out.